Hey Sagittarius, this is Michael with your reading for January. Happy 2022, Happy New Year. I actually already have all of your cards on the table ready to go. And before you think I did this to cherry pick, I actually do have the Tower on the table. Spoiler alert, I know. Yeah, the energy is really intense this month, and I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. I actually have the year ahead horoscope for 2022, and that will kind of give you a greater context for the entire year. And it's definitely a continuation of the last 2 years. That's all I'm going to say right now. There is a lot of pressure that's actually being taken off of you, however. So this isn't all bad. And if you do want a personal reading or Reiki session with me, maybe some guidance for your own life or a bit of an energy boost to help you through these challenging times, all of my links for services are down below. I do Reiki as well as readings, and I'm actually running a sale. Everything is 15% off. So all of that is down below. You can also find links for my social media as well. But the cards I have for you on the table really just felt like pretty. It's almost like I knew what was coming next. Because the first card I had here was the Six of Swords. And when I actually saw this was like a card that might have been talking about a move for some of you. This could also just be talking about a hardship or a period that you were moving out of, a literal move forward or a figurative move forward, coming into calmer waters. However, when I saw this, there was specifically this thing about you actually returning from travel, or you coming back, or moving back home, wherever that is for you, or reconnecting with that, maybe traveling towards family. And I mean, we did just have the holidays, maybe there is something there as well. And I actually do see this thing with you connecting with your past, with the Six of Cups here. So that's really, really interesting to me. We did just have Jupiter enter your fourth house. Neptune is already there. We're talking about Pisces with your fourth house energy. And that's actually not super comfy cozy. I'm not going to lie. Jupiter is your ruling planet. So whatever Jupiter does is really, really important to you, Sagittarius. And Pisces energy kind of slows you down. It squares with you. It's not what you naturally want to be focusing on or doing. And there really is going to be this emphasis on home this year and finding home, maybe even finding your dream home or thinking about your dream home. That could be something that's coming up for you a lot. But there's just this focus on home and maybe travel as well, or moving somewhere to be closer to home or closer to family, right? And that's really, really interesting. There is also a lot of focus on finances as well, so maybe there's a financial component with that, with all of this energy in Capricorn. Venus is currently retrograde into Capricorn as well, so that could be forming some sort of restriction for you too. And I do feel like you are working very hard and carrying a lot of burden. Coming into this month, we do have the Queen of Cups with the Ten of Wands. And we did have a new moon starting off this year in Capricorn. That was the same exact day that Mercury went retrograde, or Mercury entered into Aquarius. It's going to retrograde later in the month. But with Mercury in Aquarius, that's actually talking about siblings. So there could actually be this thing with you connecting to siblings, possibly, mayhap. And there actually could be something that you are healing there. But when I see this Queen of Cups, I actually really do get like a mother vibe. And maybe it's conversations about your mother that you're having with your siblings, or about your upbringing, about your early nurturing experiences, about your childhood. Kind of the baggage that you're carrying, honestly, is sort of how I see this. I'm not necessarily getting the best motherly vibes here. Obviously, this is going to be different. And of course, very well-intentioned parents will still give us not the best childhood. No one really can. We live in a capitalist society. It's like crazy to think that we can give our children perfect childhoods. It takes a village. It really does. So even good parents can still leave us with this baggage. So really, really peeling back, like what wasn't ideal for you, and not just compared to a standard, right? Really seeing the ways that your parents might not have helped you. That's really, really important, because there's this huge emphasis on home. And that's really interesting. I know that there's going to be some activation with Neptune this month as well, which is in Pisces again. And that's going to be pretty significant for you, really talking about kind of pulling back or popping the illusions that you have regarding your childhood and your early life. And that's really helping you heal. That's actually kind of the challenge for you this month, is this Four of Swords, and that is waiting, slowing down. Also makes sense with Mercury going retrograde. Again, that's going to be happening on the 14th, and Mercury will actually be going back into Capricorn on the 25th. And there could be this thing where it feels like your stability or foundations are being really shaken up. That's actually where the Tower comes in. I know we don't want to see the Tower in the future, but hey, that's where it is. You're Sagittarius, I'm just going to shoot it straight with you. I'm a Sag moon myself, so I get it. We like the truth. There may be this thing that feels like your foundations are coming down, or there's cracks in the foundations, and I think that's kind of the thing that's triggering this healing crisis. And you know what, Sagittarius? I think you already know what this is. I don't think this is going to take you by surprise, to be completely honest. You already see it. And I feel like you're carrying this burden. And it's like whatever you're carrying that's kind of breaking your back, it's just going to come falling down anyway. And so how you want to heal that or deal with that is really up to you. But I think it is like, you need to do the healing work. And however it is that you feel you can heal, that's what's really important. And maybe that's why it feels like walls are potentially coming down with the Tower. It's not always so bad. Sometimes the Tower represents us putting down the self-imposed prison. It is the collapse of the ego here. It is the mask coming off. This masked man being ejected from the Tower with this divine force. And maybe that's what feels like a move that is happening. It feels like you're going to a place you don't necessarily want to go. But there is something beautiful that is happening for you there. And there's actually a big focus on your mental health this year. We've had the nodes in your sign and also in Gemini. The South node specifically has been in your sign. And that's been a lot of karma and a lot of releasing this old sense of who you are, letting go of your identity, shedding your identity. And now there's kind of this thing where it's like, you're seeing all these subconscious patterns, all these beliefs that you have, all these expectations you have, all these old stories that you might not have realized were there and kind of ruining or undoing your life. The North node going into, the South node going into Scorpio, it really is you letting go of the ways that you sabotage and creating new and healthy patterns with the North node in Taurus. And that's kind of why I think things are slowing down. And ordinarily, Sagittarius, you like things to be moving. You like to feel free. You like to feel fluid and mutable. And this year, it really is like, on some level, it is like you taking a break, taking a pause, recollecting yourself after some intense energies. But it's almost like that in and of itself is stressful for you. So I don't want you to see this Tower and freak out. I don't actually think it's necessarily like your environment. It feels more like something that is happening internally and inside of you. And with the full moon in Cancer, there could be like a major truth bomb that is being dropped, especially with Mercury going retrograde. That's potentially possible as well. But with the full moon in Cancer on the 17th, that is your 8th house. And so there could be some secrets that are being exposed. Maybe that's family secrets. Could be with a partner. Doesn't have to be with any specific person or relationship or any situation. But some secrets that are really blowing your world open. And you might actually have a sense of what these are. With the Bat card here. I pulled some animal spirit cards for you too. And interestingly, there is a full moon here in the background. Just noticing that. Wow, that's actually kind of cool. There really could be just a secret that rocks your world. And I think that's also why it's important for you to adjust and pivot. That's kind of just an important thing to do when Mercury goes retrograde in general. We have to be really adaptable. We have to plan or expect things to go awry. And there is the wolf card that I pulled for you as well. And the wolf makes me think of the pack, which for some of you is family. For some of you, that's friends. It might not be your literal family. It could be your spiritual family, or the people that you just feel really, really close to. And there could be an ending there. An ending of a chapter, perhaps. An ending that affects your most intimate relationships, but it feels like a group specifically. I'm not necessarily getting like love relationship. If it is a partnership, maybe it affects like other people. I know sometimes like we connect to their family and their friends, and that might be an ending for you, but honestly, that's not what it feels like. It feels like there is a change in your own pack. And we do have the beaver card at the bottom of the deck, as well as justice. And that's like righting things that have been wronged. Again, I think of family and home stuff with beaver. And it's almost like things are breaking down in such a way, like things are falling apart where it's like, where do I go? Where's home? And almost like the psychological blocks, the emotional blocks, the spiritual blocks that prevent you from having or building the home that you want, that's going to be coming up a lot actually this month. So that's really, really curious to me. I'd love to hear in the comments how that makes sense to you. But yeah, I feel like whatever it is that you've been carrying, whatever hasn't been working, you already know that. And I think with the nodes shifting towards the middle of the month, and that actually can vary depending on how we calculate the nodes. The nodes are just where the eclipses occur. And we already had a full moon eclipse occur in November in Taurus, which is the new cycle. So we're already kind of in between the new cycle. It doesn't really matter when exactly this is happening. It's just energy that we are feeling now. There are things that are shifting. And it feels like your world is being shaken up in ways that you might not even be able to quantify or express, because this is happening in your subconscious. And with the Justice card, there is even this kind of like blindfold, or this blindness that we associate with justice. It's this objectivity. Seeing ourselves in a new way. Seeing ourselves mentally. I almost think of justice as like a psychologist or a counselor, where it's like, I'm going to just look at myself very neutrally. I'm going to look at these stories. I'm going to look at these emotions from a very objective perspective. Some of you might actually be seeking out therapy as well. I could be seeing that with the Queen of Cups. Especially if there's just been so much going on, and maybe it's felt like, oh, I don't have time. I don't have energy for that. Like, it's just not a good time. It's like, well, the more you avoid it, the bigger the impact is going to be later. So I think do yourself a favor and find ways to heal. I think that's actually why the Six of Cups is showing up. Find someone who can help you heal, someone you can talk to, especially about childhood stuff or the past in general. I feel like with the Six of Swords coming out first before the Six of Cups, it's like there was a past you tried to outrun. And it feels like you're not going to be able to outrun this forever. And it's kind of rocking your world. Yeah, that was kind of an intense reading, actually. I want to pull a color healing card for you. Just to kind of give you something to help ground yourself. Interesting. What is the color we have? What is the color we have for Sagittarius? Sorry, that was way too many. What is the healing color we have for Sagittarius? Give me one. Emerald. Calm your mind, body, and soul. And I'm just going to read this straight from the book. It's going to offer an exercise to work with this color, but I actually encourage you to work with this emerald color in whatever way feels right to you. I do think of the heart chakra here, and actually even potentially the higher heart chakra, which is kind of a turquoise color. There is almost like a blue tinge to this. Let's see. Emerald. Emerald helps with overcoming fears, releasing frustration, and creating calm. Use this color to bring harmony to challenging situations, dissolve aggression, and mend a broken heart. Emerald also increases self-esteem, attracts abundance, and replenishes your energy. Calm your mind, body, and soul with emerald rays. Go into a garden and take deep breaths of fresh air as you focus on all the greenery around you. Place your hands on the grass to feel the healing, calming energy it contains. Imagine what it would feel like to be a blade of grass, growing without resistance. Breathe in its emerald rays, allowing peace and calm to flow through you. Say, Divine Love, I rejoice in the wonder of nature. Every time I focus on the greenery around me, I feel calm, perfect balance, and harmony. And if you can't actually do this exercise, if you live in the north like I do, we have very snowy weather right now, connecting with plants could actually accomplish a lot of what this card is doing. And you can even just visualize going into a garden if that's not even accessible to you. Connecting with plants in some way. And that's interesting because it is like being grounded, being rooted. That's really, really important to you with all of this Piscean energy this year. It's a really big energy. It won't be the entire year. Jupiter will be entering into Aries, and that's going to kind of be more of a fun and lighthearted time for you, and perhaps even bringing in some spiciness, some adventure, some passion. But until then, it's like you really do need to root yourself and ground yourself, and I think plants are helping you do that. And you can even just visualize this emerald color in any way, or work with emerald in any way. Maybe even working with emerald as a gemstone, potentially too. Those are all the messages I have for you this month, Sagittarius. Please let me know how this resonates for you, and if this emerald card is helpful. Maybe share different ways that you're working with it. I'm always curious to hear how you create with these energy healing cards. Let me know. Again, all of my links are in the description box down below for readings and Reiki sessions, which are on sale until the 15th. On sale until the 8th for 15% off. I do also have a link for a friend who is doing a Kickstarter for an Oracle deck. So if you do feel called to make a donation this month, I'm actually just redirecting everyone to my friend Angela, who is working on an Enneagram reflection deck. The Enneagram is a system that helps us figure out our motivations and work through our fears. It's really a great self-discovery and psycho-spiritual growth tool. I actually used to be super into the Enneagram as well as Myers-Briggs and all those personality systems. And the Enneagram in particular really helps us figure out how we can grow. So if that is something that interests you, definitely check out the deck. She kind of talks about the Enneagram a little bit, and if you feel called to support her, I'm sure she would appreciate that, as would I. Really spread the love for this holiday season, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Sagittarius.